Hello and welcome to another week of Winning Wednesday Stories. So, let me hear your story. Were you able to take some of those ideas from part one, self-care is self-love, part one? Were you able to take some of those things? What did you do for yourself this week? Did you have time to take some me time and literally just do something for yourself? Self-care is not selfish. I learned that the hard way after I was all about taking care of others, whether it was at work, at home, it was always about taking care of others until the time that I was diagnosed with diabetes. At that time, I can't lie to you, I was on the go. There was no rest for me. I was always at work, and when I come back home, I'm always cooking, cleaning, and doing stuff, and writing books, and, creating programs. I mean, it was just like a 24-hour thing for me. But I learned the hard way that self-care is self-love. So I am a big advocate of self-care. That's why I wanted to do this in a 3-part way. I continue to share with you about self-care, and then you can have more choices of, what you can do for yourself. And my hope is that I convince you to say self-care is actually energy. Self-care is life. Self-care is self-love, yes, but self-love, remember now, self-love leads to this total transformation, that is totally you, and you can be in that space where you literally are able to embrace yourself. If you haven't seen the introduction to self-love, I talk a lot about, the phases and stages of, self-love in that introduction. So go on my website, www.drstemi.com, and, you will see there the introduction to self-love, webinar that I did. There's a replay there, or you can also book, anyone. Join me there and see more. So let me share a few more tips with you this week about self-care. If self-care is not a priority in your life, then as they say, you got your priorities messed up. Because self-care is supposed to be at the top of your priorities. Get clear on why you want to make self-care a part of your lifestyle and at the top of your list of things that you can do for yourself. You know why I want you to do that? Is because it will eliminate the excuses when you know what benefits do you get. Why is it that you should have self-care at the top of your priorities? Sometimes all you need in a few moments, is to just make the decision to drink a glass of water. Can you believe that? That people literally do not make time to drink a cup of water. Right now, as you're listening to this, grab a glass of water, a bottle of water, and just drink some water. It's soothing, it's refreshing, it's a good practice to drink some water. If you don't want to do something, then you don't need to justify doing it. Do something else. And as you do something else that you feel like wanting to do that is, energetic for you, guess what? You get the energy to do that which you didn't want to get. That which you didn't want to do. So sometimes we force ourselves that I really have to do this. And in doing so, you're pushing yourself to that place where now you're going to make an excuse. Now you're going to procrastinate because you're forcing yourself to do something that you're not feeling. So I have this tendency now where I say, I'm not feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it. So I take some time, I rest, I relax, and I do something else, or I just watch Netflix movies. My sister the other time, my young sister, Nikki, she asked me, she's like, wait a minute, what Netflix movies and shows have you watched? So I listed all of them, like from the top of my head. And I'm like, I watched this, and I watched this documentary, and I watched this show, and She's like, wait. With the way that you work, when are you getting time to watch Netflix? And it seems like you're watching more Netflix than anything. It's not that, I watch a lot of Netflix. But what I've learned to do is to rest and relax, and also to do those things that I know just put me in this relaxation world. When I watch Netflix, I actually take myself into a totally new world and I'm so relaxed. But let's say in the evening, if I finish work at 6 or 7 and I eat my dinner and then I decide, you know what, that's it for the day. I'm going to watch Netflix. I'll watch 1 or 2 shows or 1 or 2 movies and then I relax. The next day, the energy that I have, I'm telling you, you can't stop me. I'm so productive in that next day because I'm not tired, I'm energetic, and I'm well rested that it helps me to remember again when the next time I want to watch Netflix that, you know what, it's not a waste of time, but that's something that I like to do. What do you like to do? Instead of worrying about being consistent, focus on being resilient with your actions so you can get back on track. Focus on the energy, the vibration that you have. Are you in a good energy? Are you in a good vibration? If not, then you know what? Relax, do some meditation, find, jokes or some comedy that you can watch that will just bring you into that energy where you are in good energy. I find that when I'm in good energy, the inspiration that I get to do something is an inspired action. I get inspired to do something. Like when I started this, self-love program that we're starting, the 90-day program, it was something that as I was learning about myself and, transitioning and transforming my own life, going through my own coaching, I felt this instinct saying, why don't you put it together to also help others with self-love? Why don't you make it a part of your work to also work with others, to support them, to be a support for them as they go through transitioning and transforming their own lives? Because I'm one that always is a champion of coaching others and working with others to become unstoppable, free, and fearless. And in order to do that, I didn't realize that there are steps that we have to take a step back and work on ourselves and work on us before we can become unstoppable, free, and fearless, before we can help others, become unstoppable, free, and fearless. We have to learn to fly ourselves. We have to be, able to allow the wind beneath our wings to allow us to fly. So take a break. Take a break from everything. Sometimes you wait and say, well, you know what, I'll take my break at 1 o'clock. No, just at random. Just say, you know what, I need a break. And it's like 11 o'clock instead of 1 o'clock. And just say, take a break. Just because. Recognize the difference between what you do at each break, at each moment that you're relaxing. What gives you more energy? What makes you more relaxed? Recognize what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Remember, we are all different. So I might tell you what I do. I might tell you what I don't do. I might tell you what I like and what I don't like. That doesn't mean that you will be the same thing. You'll be different. What I don't like might be the very same thing that works for you. And what you don't like is the very same thing that works for me. And that's what I love about self-love and getting to that space of self-love. Because we tend to get to that space where I know STEM now. I understand STEM now. I know what works for STEM and what doesn't work for STEM. And I know what, I can say yes to and no to. I can show up for myself and really, really show up for STEM and not just show up for other people, for the world, or just to appease or please other people. I can show up for me. So before I end this week's Winning Wednesday story, here's what I want to suggest. Make 2 self-care lists. A list of things that sustain you when you have high energy, and a list of things that keep you regulated when you feel low. What are those things that can keep you regulated and that can keep you sustained or fulfilled? Who are the people that you can talk to or hang around with that can keep you fulfilled, energetic, and really filled with gratitude and restfulness, and you're not pushing yourself, but you're just you and you're relaxed? You don't have to keep pushing and to keep being in places that you don't feel welcome or that you don't feel like, you're getting much from those spaces, those events, those activities, or, being around certain people. You don't have to keep pushing yourself. Keeping your commitments to yourself is the ultimate act of self-care. So instead of trying to change all your habits at once, start by setting one goal and one habit at a time. So in this instance, choose the one thing that you can say, you know what, I'm going to walk for 15 minutes every day and just listen to some music. I don't want to listen to some music. I just want to hear the birds, feel the breeze, and just, maybe just think about the things that worked or didn't work for me this week. That would be something that I can really just reflect on. Notice I didn't say 30 minutes or an hour. I said 15 minutes, right? Because there are days where I just want to walk 15 minutes. I don't want to work 30 minutes. And it works. I walk for 30 minutes. And then the next day I can do 30 or I can do another 15. But the more that I do that, it's like I'm honoring what I want. I'm honoring what I want to feel. I'm honoring what I want to do. And it feels good to not be pressured into, doing something that I'm not resonating with or that I don't want to do. All right. So you got more stuff to think about when we're talking about self-care is self-love. Replay this again and then figure out what resonates with you, what's gonna work for you. And then next week I'll come back with the last part of self-care is self-love for you. Don't forget, we are starting this 90-day self-love program. I'm looking forward to having you in there. It's really, really an investment worthwhile for you this 2023. So I, put this together with the knowledge that, I will be attracting the women that are ready to make a change in their life. The women that are saying, I've tried everything else and nothing is changing. But there's just that little piece that is missing and I don't know what that little piece is. For me, it was self-love. For me, it was bridging that gap between self-love and me self-believing and also having the self-confidence to go out there and be me, free and fearless. That is my goal for you and my hope for you as well. So go down to the link that comes with this or go to our website, www.drstemi.com. The link will be there for the 90-day self-love program, which we are calling the gift of self-love. So give yourself that gift, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the program. And also I'll come back and talk to you next week on Winning Wednesday Stories. This is DrStem. Be encouraged.